Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of the Green Thumb Gardening Channel. I am indeed your host, The Lion Unleashed. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2019, and today I'm going to show you guys how we go about harvesting, prepping, and storing our gladiolus bulbs for the winter. We do this every year. We dig up our gladiolus bulbs, we prep them, we dry them out properly for a couple of weeks. We store them in brown paper bags in a cool, dry place. I'm going to show you guys how we go about doing that today. So hang tight, YouTube. Alright, YouTube. You've been following our Planting Gladiolus Bulbs series on our page here on YouTube. You may recall that we planted 8 gladiolus bulbs along our sidewalk going out towards the road there. They came up, they blossomed, some very beautiful blossoms. Typically, gladiolus blossoms last about 2 to 3 weeks from the first blossom at the bottom to the last one at the top opens up and blossoms. At any rate, we're going to show you guys today what we do and how we go about harvesting our gladiolus bulbs and any additional bulbs that the plant created during the growth season, prepping those bulbs, drying those bulbs out, and storing those bulbs for the winter season. See this hole here, if you look closely, YouTube, you can see that that's the remains of one of our gladiolus plants that we planted here. I'm going to take this shovel, dig down about 4 to 5 inches, find that bulb, dig it up, and show you how we go about preparing that bulb for storage for the winter season. Hang tight. And YouTube, please excuse my shoddy camera work. I'm trying to hold this camera and dig this up at the same time. Got a little grass growing in over the hole. Now you can see the remains of our gladiolus plant more clearly there. It should only be down in the soil about 3, 4, maybe 5 inches. I'm going to dig down and see if we can find that bulb and any additional bulbs that may have grown during the growth season here. Again, my apologies for the shoddy camera work here. We should have that bulb in this clump of soil. And indeed we do, YouTube, and it looks like we have at least one bulb here. That's that bulb that we planted. Those are the roots on the bottom. It has a shell that forms around it during the growth season. Those are actually the little stalks you see coming up here. They grow out from the outside of the bulb up around and come out as a shoot here on the top up here. We're going to show you guys right quick how we go about prepping this bulb for drying and storing for the winter season. Sit that there. Alright, YouTube. As you can see here, we have some of our other gladiolus bulbs that we dug up several weeks back. We prepped them. They've been drying here for about 2 weeks. And this is what they look like when they're ready to be stored. They look pretty much like they look when you go in the store and buy them in the bag. They pretty much look exactly like this when you buy them in the store. And this is what they should look like. They should have a light color to them. They should be completely dry and ready to be stored for several months during the winter season. Alright, YouTube, so here we have our bulb that we just dug up. All we're simply going to do to prep this bulb for winter storage is to remove this root system here at the bottom. Typically, this root system will snap away from the bulb itself fairly easy, but we just got about 2 days of rain here, and it's kind of wet, so it may not separate as easily as it typically does. If you look closely here, see that little guy there? That's a tiny little gladiolus bulb that this bulb produced during the growth season here this year. We have several of those over here amongst our other gladiolus bulbs. And although they're tiny, we will be starting those in pots next year. Let them get up to a decent size and then transplanting them into the ground once they actually sprout and come up somewhere in our on our landscape here. At any rate, YouTube, all we're simply going to do is take this bulb. We're going to break this root system away from the bottom of this bulb. Again, it's kind of moist. I'm going to take that little guy there. Indeed, tiny, but a Gladiolus bulb nonetheless. Put it over there. I'm going to simply come back and remove the roots from the bottom of this bulb. That's all it really takes to prep this bulb for winter storage. Now you're going to remove these roots because these roots are dry. These roots will not rehydrate and resprout again in the spring when we plant this bulb again, but the bulb itself will indeed produce its own new set of roots in the spring. So now that we have all of our roots removed, all of the remains of the previous sprouting from the spring, what we'll do is let this bulb dry out for a couple of weeks before we finish prepping this bulb for our storage. What we do want to do is remove all of that sand, and most of that sand will come off with the top 1 or 2 layers of husk that surround the actual bulb itself on the inside. Again, we don't want to remove all of the husk from your Gladiolus bulbs when you're getting ready to store them, because if you do, your Gladiolus bulb will indeed dry all the way out during the winter storage period, and it will not sprout the next spring. Here I have a perfect example of what your Gladiolus bulb should not look like when you're done prepping it for winter storage. This is a Gladiolus bulb that I purposely removed all of the husk from, and you can see the difference between this Gladiolus bulb and this one. You should not remove all of the husk from your Gladiolus bulb. This bulb, again, I purposely removed all of the husk from this bulb. This bulb will not survive winter storage. It will indeed dry all the way out during the winter storage. If I did try to actually store this bulb, it would dry all the way out and it would not sprout next spring. So again, when you're done harvesting, drying, and prepping your Gladiolus bulbs for storage, this is what they should look like on the top side, and this is what they should look like on the bottom side. Absolutely no roots on the bottom of this bulb. And this is what this bulb will look like in about 2 weeks once it completely dries out and I finish prepping it for storage. These Gladiolus bulbs here that I harvested a couple of weeks ago, prepped and dried out. The next step for these bulbs is simply to place these bulbs in a brown paper bag, fold that bag over loosely, and then store that bag in a cool, dry place for the winter months. At any rate, YouTube, if you currently are indeed watching this video and you're not already subscribed to the Green Thumb Gardening channel, please take this moment to press that subscribe button beneath this video, that like button, that notification button, and be sure to share this video with your friends and family if you don't mind. Thanks. We really, really, really would appreciate it.